Cheers, friends. My name is Dara, and this is Dear Hallmark. This is a space where we talk all things Hallmark Channel. And this is my first YouTube video of Countdown to Christmas season. Listen, let's take a drink on that first. Second, your girl's been going through, okay? Your girl's been going through, but we're here, okay? We are here, and I'm grateful to be coming to you guys talking about the Christmas Charade. The Christmas Charade premiered on Saturday at 8 p.m. and it stars Sevier. We have Rachel Skarsten, and we do have some cameos in there. I won't spoil it and say who in case you haven't seen it yet. But this movie is special because not only did Sevier star in it, he also directed it, and his wife wrote it. So let's get into it. If you haven't seen it, the premise is Rachel Skarsten's character is kind of pulled into some shenanigans, but with a case of mistaken identity. And it is so interesting, the different events that ensues given that mistaken identity. And she has to then solve a case, and, you know, Corey and her end up falling in their loves. Listen, this movie was unexpected because I'm like, okay, it could go either way, right? And it's funny because, like, between Corey Sevier's turtleneck and Rachel's, like, red dress, I was like, what happened in the middle of the movie? Because those two styling choices flip my wig. Clean off. I enjoyed it. I was engaged. I was talking back to the screen. I thought that this was a solid movie. If you see me looking down, it's because I have some notes. So, what's one of the things that I want to talk about? Rachel. So I enjoyed seeing Rachel play like a regular woman, for lack of a better word. I feel like in the other 3 movies we've seen her in, Royal Nanny, Christmas Island, and Jazz Ramsey, she played a more strong woman, for lack of better words. But I liked her, like, I felt like she was playing a character, but not in a bad way. Just something opposite of what she usually plays. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that thoroughly. That opening scene, darling, enjoyed that thoroughly. Because it felt so real, just sitting there in your pajamas, invested in a movie. And you're just like, oh. She's probably seen it a million times. Which is going to be me and the 5-year Christmas party. Hello. But I thoroughly enjoyed that part. I thought it was so sweet and so endearing. And I liked the situation of how the mistaken identity takes place. Like, it makes sense. Because at first I'm thinking she, like, I thought it was going to be they were both partners in the FBI or whatever. But seeing how she wasn't and how they came to be, I enjoyed that part of the story as well. I liked how that happened. What else? I like that her name was Whitney. I thought that was cool. Let's do 2 call outs. Her going over to the homie's house with Corey, like, as they're trying to establish themselves as a couple, and him trying to snoop around, spoiler alert, him trying to snoop around, and that part where he goes into the wine cellar and the homie was like, what are you doing? Gagged. I genuinely, like, my little heart was going pitter-patter. I'm like, oh, we about to get some action. It's about to be some action, Jackson. But it wasn't. It was definitely, this was very suspenseful. And I'm like, between this, I'm like, this, and I believe my friends at Hallmark Mystery and More said this, and I completely agree. Like, this is what I wanted out of Jazz Ramsey. Like, this, why was this more suspenseful than Jazz Ramsey? Which is wild to me. But I loved it either way. The ending with her parents. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I had an idea, but I wasn't sure. But spoilers, that scene after, what's his name? Josh? I think his name is Josh in the movie. When Josh goes over her house and then they leave and they're having their little powwow. Or even before that, when mom is like, what did you say you do again? I was dialed in. I was clued in. I was like, something in what ain't clean, and I need the parents to filter it, okay? And then seeing her dad at the ball, seeing Pop at the ball. Y'all, I enjoyed this movie so much. I enjoyed it so much. I wanted like a high class art heist type of movie. I remember I put out on Instagram, was this like 2023 or 2022? But I love the idea of like this fancy kind of art heist mystery. And I remember Dylan Neal commented like he's working on something like in that vein, which I think is beautiful. Like, this is why I love Ocean's 11 and that whole series. Like, I love White Collar, the show. That was one of my favorite shows in college. Like, I enjoy art heist movies. Or Ocean's wasn't about art per se, but I enjoy heist movies. And so this was right up my alley, and it was Christmas, and it was Hallmark. So, you know, I was in it to win it. I was in it to win it. And I give this one 4.5 crowns. Why it didn't get 5? I felt like it could have been perfect if I felt like the ending fell flat for me. I wanted some more creativity on who did it and like who the thief was. And I just wanted some more creativity there with the plot line. Like, it just fell flat for me at the end. But Rachel and Corey, chemistry, we already know the chemistry is there. They did their thing. The red dress. Homie was wearing that dress. Every woman needs a red dress like that in her arsenal. Every woman needs a red dress like that in her wardrobe. That's a dress right there. Well, y'all, those are my thoughts on the Christmas Charade. I enjoyed it. Definitely, like, I'm like, all right, we're building from last weekend. This weekend, I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't looking forward to nothing except for the sweet Austrian holiday. I'm sorry. When I tell you, listen, and I put this disclaimer out on the podcast. By the way, if you're looking for my review of 'Twas the Date, Holiday Crashers, and Scouting for Christmas, you want to make sure you subscribe to the podcast, because that is where you're going to find the review of all 3 of those Christmas movies. I know all 3 of them. I was shocked myself. I was like, well, also too, because I was sick. And so I was bedridden. I'm being dramatic, but I was home. So I was like, well, when in home, watch Hallmark. So I was able to catch all 3 of those movies, and here we are. I don't know if I'm gonna review Operation Nutcracker. It was a movie. And so, yeah, all I'm looking forward to is my sweet Austrian holiday with Brittany Bristow and Will Kemp on Hallmark Mystery Channel. But as I said, if you are looking for my review of those other movies, you want to make sure you subscribe to the podcast, because we're going to be double fisting throughout this whole season. I'm going to be bringing you reviews here on the U of Tube, and we're also going to have reviews on the podcast. More likely than not, the podcast will hold reviews for 2 or more movies because it's a longer medium. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Like, It costs you nothing to just hit that subscribe button. So why don't you do it? Do it. Go ahead. Also, watch this movie. This is definitely a movie you need to be sat down for. This is, I mean, you can have it on in the background, sure, but it is a captures your attention movie. For sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. So that's it. My name is Dara. Again, this is Dear Hallmark. And in the meantime, between time, my friends, be sure to watch a Hallmark movie that you love. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Did I say that word right? Video? Ciao, my friends.